Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know what's one of the most frustrating parts of being in this grassroots movement over the last nearly 10 years? This annoying feeling as if the world has gone mad. As if we're the only people left analyzing current events honestly, as if we're the only people with our friggin' eyes open and our ears listening, because we've been here yelling the same things into the void for years, and the entire time we were labeled as the crazies, right? We're the nutcases engaging in right-wing conspiracy theories, but time and time again, our conspiracy theories end up being proven true, and then we got these actors in the media who are garnering all kinds of attention, making all kinds of noise online for their latest hard-hitting, fact-based take, as if they're the first people to come to the realization, but they are literally saying what we've been saying for the last 9 years. It's absolutely wild to me that it takes so long for people to come to such basic conclusions. And we've got another one of those examples, this time with Stephen A. Smith, who's now realizing, there might have actually been a point to some of the stuff that Donald Trump has been saying over the last couple of years. Let me show you guys a couple things. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so I basically set up the context. Now here we are in really what feels like the Twilight Zone, where after nearly a decade of being told that we're crazy, all these mainstream actors and a bunch of them on the left are basically telling us that, yeah, we were right. And of course, that Trump was right.
It makes Trump look right. Because that hatred for him that led people to compromise their own professional principles just to ensure that he didn't win the presidency? Well, if you were willing to do that, then all of a sudden, does it not buffer his arguments about lawfare being exercised against him? Does it not buffer his arguments about fake news, fake news, fake news? Does it not buffer the credibility that comes to his arguments that it was a witch hunt? Does it not in some way buffer the notion that somebody might have cheated him in 2020? I don't believe that last part. He lost that damn election, and I get that. I'm talking about him genuinely feeling cheated, as opposed to knowing he's lying because, oh my God, the numbers say so. Why should he give a damn? The rest of us, yes. Why should he give a damn about the numbers? You see what hatred can do? You see what an absence of objectivity can do? You see how the corrupt actions of a few, whether it's him and a potpourri of his lies over the years, or Democrats and the lies that they were spewing leading up to the election. You see how we all got screwed? Because now the American people are sitting here not knowing what to believe or who to believe anymore. And then you wonder why I'm pissed.
Absolutely. Trump has been shouting from the rooftops that the system is rigged, that the media is biased, that they'll say or do anything to make him the villain. And for years, people had their head in the frickin' dirt and denied it. Throughout the last 10 years, we were the crazy people. We were the ones who lost the plot, right? It's crazy how it took people a decade to see the basic reality. It's taken a decade for people to realize that the whole fake news thing wasn't an attack on the free press, but was simply the appropriate response of somebody who is being attacked, maligned, and slandered to such a degree. People are just realizing now that, maybe Donald Trump had a point. It's crazy how people live in such a state of delusion, in such a state of ignorance. And look, I'm not saying this to attack Stephen A. Smith. I like Stephen A. Smith. Do I think that he should be president? No. Do I even think that he's a top-notch political analyst? No. Although he could be if he put a lot of effort into it. But no, the point that I'm trying to make here is that there's so many people like Stephen A. Smith who have been lied to. And look, I have some sympathy if you fell to the fake news, but also at the same time, you're an adult and you're expected to make informed, good decisions. You're expected to engage in democracy. And after 10 years of this, people are finally coming to the conclusion that the media cannot be trusted and frankly has been completely out of control. Come on. It's hard to give most people an excuse, especially when the dishonesty has been so blatant. I mean, a big conversation that we're having right now is the Joe Biden health cover-up, which I think is tied into this story as well, right? The constant fake news attacks on Donald Trump also meant fake news defense of Donald Trump's opponent, which was Joe Biden at the time. And so I'm thinking, sure, the mainstream media is duplicitous, sure, they lied, but if you're an adult and you are paying attention, unless you're a hyper-partisan, it should have been absolutely obvious what they were doing, what they were up to. This clip here ought to put it into clear perspective.
For the last 2 weeks, Republicans seem to have had one single strategy: spreading videos to make President Biden seem feeble, old, and unfit. But as we like to say on the show, the truth matters, but only if you see it. This right here is a video that the RNC published of President Biden at a D-Day event, apparently struggling to sit in his chair. But in the full video, you can see he was just waiting for Secretary of Defense Austin to be introduced. On a separate occasion, another day, the New York Post shared this cropped video of the president seeming to wander off during a skydiving demonstration at the G7. And guess what the RNC did? They ran with it. But in the wide shot, you can see the truth, that the president is talking to several of the skydivers that are just out of the frame. And now outlets like Fox News are now saying that Biden's pause at an LA fundraiser over the weekend is just the latest example of supporters directing the president. Well, spokespeople for the White House and host Jimmy Kimmel say he was just taking in the crowd. Now, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre and others are calling these cheap fakes. But what it is truly deceitful behavior that is not rooted in truth.
They were trying to convince you that those clips of Joe Biden were deep fakes. And then they played a bunch of clips that were not deep fakes, but that were literally Joe Biden dementia moments. Oh, we know that he looks super confused, but trust me, he definitely wasn't, like in that one clip at the G7. Oh, he was talking to pilots. First of all, why the hell would he be talking to pilots? Secondly, he's not even talking in the clip. He's just wandering aimlessly, and everyone around him is like, what the hell are you doing, Joe? So, at one point, it's good to be understanding, but also at the same time, wake the frick up, people. We've been saying this forever, and we've been called crazy, right? Donald Trump was called crazy throughout it. He's engaging in dangerous, autocratic behavior by demonizing the press. He's such a bad guy with fascist tendencies. No, he was just calling it like it was. They are fake news. They were rigging the system. They were lying for Joe Biden. And let's not pretend like anything really has changed. Despite Jake Tapper's little apology tour, it's still the same crap. It's still another phony narrative every frickin' week. They're still talking about the 25th Amendment and Donald Trump's fitness for office. I mean, for Pete's sake, they've put more focus on Donald Trump's fitness for office than they did with Joe Biden for 4 frickin' years straight, when that was the #1 issue of his presidency, at least in terms of his electability. I don't know, I guess I'm just trying to express my frustration. After years of just calling it as I see it and being told I'm a crazy tinfoil hat kook the whole time, only to be going through the same process of being proven right and then having basically everybody else collect all the credit for saying the thing like 10 frickin' years later. It's just annoying. I mean, what's next? Were all the cases and indictments against Donald Trump acts of political corruption, lawfare, and politicized prosecution? Yeah, obviously. But of course, when we said it, it wasn't cool, it wasn't in, it wasn't accepted yet, and we were gaslit into oblivion. I feel like we're the only honest adults in the room, and we're living in crazy town. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.